Really different performance in the second half.
Played better than the first. No, it's actually usually in a situation like this, when we don't find a way into the game, we try to find a situation which we can show the boys in a half time, which explains it a little bit what we have to do. So when Pete went in, I told him find just one situation where we did it how we wanted to do it in the first place. And when I came in, Pete just said, nah, didn't find any. So but it was clear. So the start obviously was really difficult for us to take. We were obviously impressed by that. We had no real build-up. We didn't play in the right spaces. All of a sudden, we just kicked in long balls somewhere and tried to force it. If we had kind of a moment to play, then we were directly kind of dangerous, but never enough to get a little bit of momentum. So we just explained the boys where we have to play, what we have to do, where we have to be stronger, and how we have to move smarter, because we obviously in the first half we didn't move enough. We couldn't find the midfielders in half space because they were not there. Front three were too fixed. Sadio left, Mo right, and Diogo in the center. There was no flexibility, nothing. So we had to mix that up, definitely to cause them more problems because of their very man-orientated defending. We played in their hands, and that's what we had to change.
Thank you, Chris. We'll go to Vinny O'Connor next, and then to Dave Maddock. Vinny, two questions.
Jurgen, how does this one feel, reaching your third Champions League final in 5 years?
Outstanding, massive. Feels like it's the first, to be honest, because it's always so special. It's, for me, the best club competition in the world. Love it. Love the sound, everything. Love the night. Respect to Villarreal. This really wonderful stadium. What the people doing here is absolutely incredible. What Unai is doing incredible. The players, how they put us under pressure, everything is great. So it feels so special because it was so difficult for us. But in the end, we deserved it as well, and that's really cool. And it was massive from the boys. So before the game, I told the boy I would like to have to read the headlines, which is that the mentality monsters were in town, just because I wanted us to be from the first moment, not that somebody who defends the result but goes for the 3 points or for the win. Couldn't see that, but the second half was like this, and I'm not 100% sure, but I asked what is in Spanish, and I think it's mentalitare monstruosos, something like that. Sorry, but maybe somebody can figure it out. So for me, it was like this because it was, you could see how impressed we were in the first half, and then coming back like we came back in the second half is really special. With the 500 games, like it feels with the boys played, it's completely normal that a thing like in the first half can happen. But reacting like we reacted made it really special again, and that's, I'm really happy about it.
We keep talking about the impact that Luis Diaz has made since he came in, but talk to us about the impact you feel he made coming on in that second half.
Yeah, the massive impact. What I don't like about this, because the next story is around that Diogo Jota was our problem. He was not at all our problem in the first half, not a little bit. But we had 11 problems, if you want, in the first half, and we just had to mix it up, and you can do that with explaining what I did, obviously. But you need then fresh impulse as well. So Sad all of a sudden was involved in a game that has nothing to do with the position. It must be a misunderstanding. It was for specific situations I wanted Mo and Sadio high and wide, but not in open play situations. So even after working long together, it's just because it means so much. That's how it is. That it means so much. And all of a sudden we were not ourselves, but second half we were ourselves. And that's why we won the game. And yes, of course, Luis, what a goal, what a few more situations. I think the first one, which one's like kind of takes with a bicycle kick. If it takes that on the chest, he can score there already. So, yeah, top performance.
Thank you, Vinny. We'll go to Dave Maddock, and then we'll get a couple more in that we can't get everybody. But Dave Maddock from the Daily Mirror.
Jurgen, hi. You've actually made history now by being the first team and first first manager in English football to reach the final of the Champions League, the League Cup, and the FA Cup. But I imagine that you've got this far, you have to now go on and make a different kind of history.
What can I say now? So there's only one chance to win a final, is to qualify for the final. That's what we did so far. We played each game available. We went through all competitions until the last game. So, but three of these competitions are not finished yet. So I know all the stories around and stuff like this, and supporters from other clubs and these kind of things. The first half today, a lot of people might have been happy that we have got a knock, all these kind of things. But it's really difficult to reach three finals. That's probably the reason why nobody did it so far. But we made that happen. And when the specific finals are show up in our schedule, we will make sure that we are ready for it. But we play incredibly strong teams in these finals. So we will see. We give it a go, definitely. But that it's difficult, I could have told you without knowing that nobody did it so far, because it's really tough.
Okay, we can't take everyone. We are going to go to what looks like Jordi Blanco. I'm sorry, it's quite far away, the screen for ESPN. Then we're going to go to Dom King. Jordi?
Sí, buenas noches.
Hi. Congratulations. I'd like to know what you said exactly, if you can, to your players at halftime when you saw that Villarreal, like you said before, or like Robertson said before, they seem to be everywhere in the first half, and they kind of surprised us. Did you know that you had the advantage on the second half because of your physical fitness?
Yes, I know it was tough for Villarreal in the first half. They played pretty much very man-orientated, if not man-marking, in a lot of moments. They took all the risk. They couldn't respect it more what they did. But the physical aspect, at least, we didn't mention in the first half, in the halftime. So no, I cannot tell you what I said at halftime. First and foremost, I don't know it exactly anymore, but I know what I was talking about playing football and where we have to play and where we have to move and where we have to show up and where we have to be brave and where we have to change the momentum and where we have to go in behind and where we have to go in between. It was a football problem, and we have the understanding football problems you solve with football. If you can get your mind right, because after 3 minutes our mind was not right anymore. We were in a rush. We felt the pressure, and that doesn't make sense. You have to force your own football through, and in the second half we did that.
Okay, these are the last two. Javier, who's had his hand up from the beginning, and then we're going to finish with Dom. Javier. Hopefully this works. Thank you. Yes, correct. Javier, can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you.
Good. Fire away.
Javier Cáceres, Süddeutsche Zeitung. Hello, Herr Klopp. One question: could you be a bit more specific? And you said that you tried to solve a football problem with football solutions. What was the specific mission of Luis Diaz to give you the edge this evening?
No. Yeah, Luis, of course. But the thing is, it's not that Luis was the solution. The solution was that we move more. So we were really fixed in the front line. We how I said, we had Sadio right, left, Mo right, Jurgen in the middle, in the center. With a man, if you play against a man-orientated or man-marking system, pretty much, you play in their hands, because now you give the ball there and they win the challenge. We couldn't keep on ball, I think, in the front line the first half because of the wrong movements. But if you can't only play the balls directly in the front line, so you need the options in midfield as well. So obviously Thiago got massive pressure when he dropped. Our fullbacks were especially Robbo was too early, too high in moments when we had 5 players in one line and nobody for a decisive pass. So there were so many problems. It's not enough if I can explain it now, but you saw them as well, and you saw the second half. So, but the difference was what I was talking about in halftime. It was pretty much 1-1. What we said in halftime, that we have just to start doing what we wanted to do in the first place, and don't play in their cards, because they play man marking, and were really on us. And in that moment, maybe you remember the first pass through the half space, Naby Keita could turn, then Sadio, if they passed the ball there, all of a sudden they had the problems we had in the first half. So we turned and were running with 4 or 5 players towards their last line. So that were the situations we expected to have already in the first half. It was clear that they go for us, but if you press like them, then you open up other spaces. So it was clear if we win 1-1 situations in that moment, we have an advantage. So that's it, how it is. But it's more than that you can really get yourself in that mood to do that, because if the first shot is a goal for yourself, then you start flying in that moment. If you concede a goal, it's very often exactly the opposite, and that's what happened to us. So we had to force ourselves back in the game, but the boys did that. All good.
I'm going to go to Dom King. This has to be the last question. By the way, Nat Phillips and Bournemouth look promoted.
Yes.
So you might like to.
Right.
There we go. Dom, just to finish.
Jurgen, come back to part of this Liverpool's history and heritage, and you know that better than anyone with Dortmund and Barcelona. Is what you did tonight on a par with those games, considering you're away from home and what you were faced with in the second half?
I did not say it.
I think Dom's saying with the big European nights you've had, is this on a par with it because of the circumstances?
In terms of comebacks, Jurgen, like against Dortmund, against Barcelona.
I don't understand. Dom, I don't like to compare. Just add on. Yes, it's a massive one, absolutely massive one. Being 2-0 down, the game looked like it looked. The whole world thought, okay, this is rather 3-0 than a 2-1. But maybe we knew that in halftime. So we said that that's a situation. That's what everybody thinks. But we are still here, so we could give it a try, actually. So we just have to make sure that everybody can see that we try, and that's what we did in the second half. Honestly, it was when I saw us first time passing through their line and could turn with the ball, I knew we have a good chance to turn it around. But you still have to score, obviously, because it's not easy. So we have the first goal we scored from Fabinho was a situation where Fab offers a run in a space where he never was before in the game. So just being really in a half space and offer that running behind, we pass the ball through, and then obviously a bit lucky with the finish. But we had to break their lines, and that's what we did in the second half, and that's made it really, really special. From where we are coming from, after 2 minutes, 1-0 down, with all the games the boys played, very special, and is for me together with these other big European nights.
Fantastic. Thanks everyone, and thanks to Villarreal for this setup.
Congratulations to Nat Phillips, by the way.